Hello and welcome to About 6 Acres.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Juana, and today we're in the garden.
We're gonna be planting some stuff.
Onions. We're gonna be planting onions.
And be like, wasn't it just freezing and stuff over there? Yes, yes it was.
It was. So onions we typically plant around Martin Luther King Day. So we're due to plant them. You might remember that we tried to direct sow some from seeds. And it didn't work.
No, not a bit.
I don't know what we did wrong.
I don't know. We planted like 2 packs of seeds and not
We
one
had
of
some
them.
germinate.
Yeah.
We did have
so,
some germinate.
I don't know. Maybe they just said, this is not the place for me.
So I think next year if we do seeds again, we're gonna try to do them indoors and then plant them out.
We had tomatoes in here during the summer and some basil, and we're gonna rotate that crop out so we don't have any diseases in that soil. So we're gonna try to do several rows of our onions. We have our supervisors here, as always. What do you think, Sean and Gus? Is this where our onions go? So we're gonna plant our onions in here, and we're gonna do some fertilizing and some trenching. What else should we say?
Unfortunately, I let the chickens and Sean and Gus into the garden. I didn't realize there was stuff that they could wreck, and they found stuff.
Eat some of the turnip leaves.
Yeah, turnips and radishes are good.
Disrupt the buffet there, boys.
Yeah, so now we're going to try to get them out and then go back to onions. Onions are extremely cost effective. It's even cheaper if you think about onion seeds. If you are in certain zones, you can actually start growing your onions now from seed. Because of where we are, we kind of missed our window.
We come in this little bundle. There might be 20 plus in here. So they're already have some formation of the bulbs on here. So they're easy to plant. I mean, different sizes. Obviously you want to look for ones that have really nice bulbs, but I like planting them all, even these little tiny ones, because, you know, sometimes you need a small onion. Sometimes recipe calls for medium onion. So always look for, you know, to make sure they have good roots, make sure they're not moldy or soft. You don't want to plant those. And definitely when you get them, one recommendation I would say is don't wait to plant them, because we did that one year and they totally dried out and we did not have many onions.
So for a bundle that size, it was $3.50. So it definitely is very, very cost effective. So we're just going to pull some of the weeds that we see and then scratch the surface a little. We just want to start with as clean a slate as we possibly can without disturbing the soil too much. And even though we had freeze a couple of days, this ground seems to be pretty well defrosted or thawed, if you will. So we're comfortable planting them here.
What we're doing right now is digging a small trench to put our onion starts in. So the great thing about this is you don't have to dig very far because the onion starts only go in about an inch max, because again they'll have to bulb. But the good thing about the trench is you can lay them out and space them out and then put your fertilizer in as well and then cover them up. Another way to do it is if you have a dibber or your finger and just make a hole and drop the fertilizer in, and then your seed start and close it up. That's worked well for us. We're going to try trenching, and one thing I use is to know how far apart they go, about 6 inches apart. I just use the width from my pinky to my thumb, so my trenches, the center of my trenches are about that spaced out. So you don't need any fancy rulers. Use your hands. If you got small hands, you might have to use 2. Depending on the size of the bulb that you want, if you plant them closer together, the smaller the bulb, right? Because they're going to expand. So if you want large bulbs, then you plant about 6 to 8 inches apart. Medium size, 4 to 6, and then a little bit closer if you want small ones. But I think we're going to go, I like more medium size, so maybe 4 to 6 inches. We'll plant them. So the great thing is you can just lay them down in your trench. All right, let's see if I can throw.
Almost. We almost had it. So I went through the packet and wound up with 33 large ones that we're going to plant in this area. And we have some smaller ones that we are going to just tuck in other beds. So those may not grow to be that large. We might use them before they're fully bulbed. But in the meantime, these nice big ones have been separated out for our future use.
So we're using as a fertilizer a Microlife all-purpose. I believe it's a 6-to-4 ratio, but it's got humates, algae, some fish meal in there, and some mycorrhizal fungi. So a lot of beneficial stuff, and it's a slow release, so we can line it in there and then add every month or so, top dressing and water it in. So we're going to line our trenches with some fertilizer, pinch the sets closed, and water it in. And this type of fertilizer won't burn because it doesn't have that like chicken manure or that high nitrogen in there, so it's all good to go directly on. So you'll fertilize, give them good nitrogen up to the point where they're bulbing, so when they break that topsoil of the surface, give them a good nitrogen fertilizer, because that'll again increase the amount of leaves, stems in there, and give you a fuller bulb. I'll just get them about 1 inch deep and push them in. Got them covered and have the fertilizer in the trench, and what we'll do is we'll water immediately, because anytime you add any type of granular fertilizer, it is automatically going to lose its nitrogen. So once it's in contact with the soil, any moisture, it's going to sort of evaporate. So you want to make sure you get all the goodness from your fertilizer in the soil, so water it in immediately so you don't lose any of that hard-earned money that you're working for to put into your plants. So we're just gonna finish planting out this bed and then show you what it looks like when it's done. Done planting over 140 onion sets. So 140 individual onions, hoping that 100 will survive. That would be nice. So got those done. So about $14 for 140 some sets. Plus we got some little tiny ones left. Got to figure out what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just chop them up and put them into a salad or something. But all done. Thanks for watching us plant some onions. And as always, you're awesome and you are loved.